Okay, now going back to Revelation chapter 13, verse 3, where I claimed that the wounded head represents both a king and his kingdom. As I had already explained, the king is the first beast, Islamic Mahdi, who I have identified as Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi. The kingdom, which is his kingdom, is the Islamic State Caliphate. Here is that verse again. Revelation chapter 13, verses 3 to 4. And I saw one of the heads of the beast from the sea, as it was wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed, and all the world wondered after the beast. And they worshipped the dragon, who gave power to the beast, and they worshipped the beast, saying, Who is like the beast? Who is able to make war with him? On the next page, I will provide evidence showing when the wounded beast head, Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, actually received this deadly wound which he recovered from. Here are official newspaper clippings from April 2015, when al-Baghdadi, the seventh head of the sea beast, was seriously injured when the ISIS convoy he was travelling in was hit by a US coalition missile. According to reports on this incident, he was actually wounded to death and then resuscitated back to life in a hospital located in the Golan Heights. Now, this would appear to fulfill the prophecy shown on the previous page from Revelation chapter 13, verse 3, which describes the seventh head actually receiving this deadly wound, which then heals. And if you remember in the previous part of this video, I showed that Revelation chapter 17, verses 9 to 10, tells us that the wounded head of the sea beast represents both a kingdom as well as a king. Here are those verses. Revelation chapter 17, verses 9 to 10. The seven heads are seven mountains which the woman sits upon, and they are seven kings. Here are official newspaper clippings from this month, November 2017, which actually confirms that al-Baghdadi's kingdom, known as the Islamic State Caliphate, is now officially dead. Therefore, I am willing to bet that this fallen Islamic Caliphate is the head of the beast actually receiving this deadly wound. It is a fact that Middle East experts today are in agreement that this caliphate will most probably rise again sometime in the future. It is just a case of when and where. This future revived caliphate will surely represent the healing of the beast's head. Later in Revelation chapter 13, verses 11 to 12, it describes the arrival of the second beast, Islamic Isa. In this chapter, he is clearly portrayed as being both a secondary beast and a Jesus imposter, who travels up to the earth's surface from hell below. It is also very important to bear in mind that verse 12 clearly indicates that the first beast, Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, arrives before him. Here is that chapter. Revelation chapter 13 verses 11 to 12. And I saw another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb, and he spoke like a dragon, and he exercised all the authority of the first beast who arrived before him. And he made the earth and those which dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. Okay, as you can see in verse 11, the second beast, Islamic Isa, is described as having horns like a lamb, and as we already know, the real Jesus Christ is also described as being a lamb with horns in Revelation chapter 5 verse 6. Therefore, this tells us that the second beast, Islamic Isa, is going to be a Jesus imposter. Now, this would definitely appear to fit the description of Isa in the Quran, by the way. I will explain more later. Further along in the verses shown below, the first beast appears to be described as a male rebel leader who will lead a rogue army in an attempt to spread lawlessness and violence throughout the world. This definitely sounds like al-Baghdadi. Revelation chapter 13 verse 7. And he was given the ability to make war with the saints and to overcome them, and power was given to him over all kindreds and tongues and nations. Revelation chapter 16 verses 13 to 14. And I saw 3 unclean spirits like frogs come out of the mouth of the dragon, and out of the mouth of the beast, and out of the mouth of the false prophet. For they are the spirits of devils, working miracles, which go forth unto the kings of the earth and of the whole world, to gather them to the battle of that great day of God Almighty. Revelation chapter 19 verse 19. And I saw the beast and the kings of the earth and their armies gathered together to make war against him that sat on the horse and against his army. His description in the chapters mentioned so far in this video also appear to match up with the description of an end of days character mentioned elsewhere in the Bible, who is called the Assyrian, found in Numbers 24:24 and 24:14 and 24:22 and Daniel 11:30 and Isaiah 10 and Isaiah 31:8, Isaiah 14:25 and Micah 5:5 to 5:6. Scholars today are of the belief that the first beast and the Assyrian are one and the same person. I will cover this topic in a separate video. Oh, and by the way, al-Baghdadi is officially 100% Assyrian, being born to parents of Assyrian descent in the town of Samarra in Iraq, which was at the very heart of the ancient Assyrian Empire. All this information can be independently verified and is definitely not fake news. Therefore, he clearly fits the profile of the biblical Assyrian.